Who's bringing the food?
What they do have in the game is this, which is the Stimpak, which if you get in trouble in the game, you need to find a few of these.
Did you use that?
I did, yeah.
I did too.
I did too.
Every character needs a Stimpak.
Yeah.
Every character.
We all can use one.
Okay, so apologies for starting the documentation process a little bit later on this one. You know how it goes. You start doing stuff, and next thing you know, you're about this far. Obviously, this is a Stimpak. And I got some colored alcohol in here, so there's actually like liquid in here and stuff. This is the main body. It's actually 2 pieces. This is 7/8 inch polycarbonate, and then 1 inch, and it fits inside there. And then it goes down to 3/4 of an inch, and then this is 1 centimeter bar, and then I just bent some Sintra around it because Sintra was easy, and it's all going to get painted anyway. Like from here up, it's all going to get painted black. So yeah, this is a polycarbonate tube. This is an old, what was this? There's like a spout for like a squirt bottle, and then some 8mm outer diameter. I think this is ABS. This is acrylic, 6mm. Fits inside the tube, which runs up through the liquid and then to the spring, so that this is spring loaded, so you can stab yourself in the tummy if you need a boost. Yeah, it all fits inside here. The gauge is going to have a light in it. This is just an old plastic container for a speaker, like a 28mm speaker. That'll get glued on there. There's a little section of cob LED in there, and then it's going to have a, where'd it go? Stand by. A little CR123 battery. CR1, no, this is a 2032. That's going to go on the back there. There's a little switch on it, and then the blue and yellow wires will get attached to this part. So that is a custom gauge, and I just found this out. There's websites where you can actually like put in parameters for a gauge face, and then it'll basically just give you a picture file for you to download. You can determine like the spacing and the numbering and stuff, measured out specifically so that it fits inside the little thing right here, and it was actually kind of fun to play with. But this goes right here, and then that's your Stimpak. Still going to paint some stuff on it. I want to make a stand so that there's light that shines in through the liquid, which is pretty cool. I hope it's pretty cool. I have no idea if it looks cool. And then the face will light up. And that's it. More to come. This is just a quick interlude while I'm waiting for the main body to dry. I used oil paints, and oil paints take forever to dry. It's currently sitting in the back bat cave with in the drying box with the hair dryer going on it, and it's been there for like 2 days. Anyway, so the main needle part, I trimmed off all the extra plastic stuff and I replaced it with this brass lamp part. It's knurled, it just looks a little bit better. I don't know if it was obvious, but the reason why I used clear parts is because I wanted it to be see-through. You can still see and light passes through, which is good specifically for the stand here, which is an old lightsaber stand that I just put a light on it. So hopefully when it sits down there, you'll be able to see through because a little cutout on the main body goes through both sides, front and the back. That big long spring I got from an airsoft magazine. The main tube is 1 inch. This is 7/8 inch, but the main tube is 1 inch, which is still a little less than the bottle cap here. I recognize the fact that it looks awkward, so there's that. Here's the top section is basically done, and yeah, we'll call it done. It's secured on by a couple of sets of screws. The bar doesn't, it's not centered, and that's specifically so that the spring assembly has a place to go, otherwise it would have impeded on that. I made a little bit longer bar. This is the old one, and it was really short, and it reminded me of like an F-104 Starfighter with those little tiny stubby wings, so I made something a little bit longer. The wires in the show actually are blue and yellow. They're just secured on by like the screw, and they're smashed on. So the gauge, like I said, it's custom made. The picture I printed out on some antique pattern paper, and I wasn't entirely sure how it was gonna look. So I tried a couple of different looks just to see if I could get a good, like a halfway point between like looking old when it's off and still having enough light pass through. So for example, some of these that were a little bit darker, light didn't pass through all the way, and it kind of obscured the actual graphics on it. So these, it's pretty much just like yellow paper with a couple of little particles and stuff in there. And that actually did really well as far as like being able to relay that it was old, but at the same time it had enough light passing through so that it looked cool. Here's what it looks like when it's on. You can still see like the numbers and everything, and it still looks like a gauge. The picture itself didn't obscure anything. I sunk it in a little bit using one of these, and this is just a container or something that I got a speaker in, but it fit perfectly in here. So I basically just shrank down the gauge face so that it sits a little bit further in, and now I don't have to worry about like clocking it and stuff. So from here, I just put it on and skew it down, and it looks fine. A benefit to that is that I got that little shine-through ring around it. Yeah, so just waiting for the main body to dry. Hopefully that's today. Here it is done. It took me a little bit longer than I was hoping. I had to wait for the oil paints to dry. It spent about a week and a half in the drying box. It's black and brown. It actually came out looking a little coppery, which is cool. It's a little bit bigger than the on-screen version. Red alcohol looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see, but there's actually like little red floaty things in there too. Unanticipated, but it's pretty cool. The rest is just black paint with the aluminum powder treatment. So one thing that I did change was the light. It wasn't giving me the output that I was hoping for. I mean, you could barely tell that it was on when it's underneath the lights. So instead of the single 2032, I put in two 2016s, which is actually double that. It's like 6 volts now, and it's way brighter. Anything further than a couple of inches away, it's getting washed out. So here's the way the red looks, which is pretty cool. Checking my notes, looks like I got everything that I wanted to talk about, so I could probably field strip this. Hold on, let me take this apart real quick. I just want to see if that's actually accurate. I could take the crossbar off, but I don't want to because it's screwed onto these things. But yeah, look how bright that is. That's pretty cool now. 6 volts. It's a 5 volt strip, so that's why it's a lot brighter. But that looks pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that, but yeah, that's pretty cool. And that's a Stimpak. All right, see you later.